Welcome to this edition of Collecting Small Diecast Land Rovers, and I'd like to extend a warm welcome to all the new subscribers to both the YouTube channel and the Facebook page, and hope you find things of interest. On the Facebook page, feel free to post pictures of what models you have in your collection, or make comments. You're always welcome. What have we got for you today? Well, the new Defender 1/24 scale arrived in the post. It was a Christmas present, but we knew it was going to be late because it was having to be ordered from China. So we'll be looking at that a little bit later on, and we'll look at we'll stay with 1/24 for the time being, and we're going to take a look at a Defender 90 model that I've had for quite some time. So we'll take a look at that first. And here we have it. It is 1/24 scale, as we've said. It's made by Welly, and it comes from China. So we'll have a look at the base, see what's written. Right, so we'll turn it the right way up, so hope you can read that. Welly number 22498, made in China, Land Rover Defender scale 1/24, and it's got lots of nice detail on the bottom. It features freewheeling wheels. There's no pullback motor on this one. Nicely laid out on the bottom there. Mud flaps all moulded into the base. Now this model features opening doors and bonnet with engine detail inside. I trust you can make that out. All the lights are depicted with separate lenses, and just plain Land Rover for the number plate. As we move inside, we've got all the dash detail. Of course, this one's left-hand drive, but all the seating to the rear. Now, word of caution, it appears the back door opens, but when you try to take it off, there's no hinge. It's just on pegs. So I would hazard a guess that this model version does not have, it's not intended to have an opening door. As you can see, there's some pegs which locate into the holes. So on your example, if you're tempted to open it, just be aware that it might not come away all that easy. To the rear, you've got the indicators and brake lights, etc. Reversing light over on this side. The word Defender and Land Rover logos are all depicted with a high level brake light. So all in all, a rather nice model. I have seen other colours of this abound. I think there's some blue ones. You can get a blue one and possibly a red one, but I just thought the white looked quite nice and sits there very nice. And by coincidence, as we move on to the next model, you'll see how good the coincidence is, because this one arrived. Now that's the new Land Rover Defender 110. It's also in 1/24 scale, and they look quite nice next to each other. Just be careful, because this model has the pullback motor arrangement fitted, so it's quite easy for you to lose it off your table if you're not that careful. Right, so we'll move the 90 out the way. Right, this one is made by, it says XHD and then some Chinese writing and made in China. Now there's a few models out of this that also come from China, and I think one's called the Xinglong company or something. The models look very similar, but they do appear to be different castings. This one, you'll notice that the disc brakes are visible, but bizarrely they spin with the wheels. So your brake caliper there actually spins with the wheels. It's where they've made it as one casting, which does look a bit odd when it's if you see it moving, the brake caliper's spinning, but obviously that's been a concession to the way they've built it. The Xinglong ones don't feature brake calipers that I've seen at all. The other difference is round this side there's a snorkel arrangement, or what appears to be a snorkel arrangement. That doesn't appear on the Xinglong. Now both these models seem to be basically the same size and basically the same price, but the giveaway that these models are not licensed is when you come to the front, although they feature a very small Land Rover badge at the back, written across the bonnet, if you can see, DEFENER. So it's a Defender, not a Defender. That, we presume, is to get round the licensing. From what I've seen, the Xinglong ones are DEFENDFR. So they've changed the E to the F. But other than that, the models, they're all pretty similar. This one, and I think some of the others, do have what appears to be a battery compartment. And if you notice, the front is a switch. Now this seems to activate some sound mods on it. Now I've seen, there's quite a few videos on YouTube if you want to have a look. The sound is horrible. In one case, it sounds like a Formula 1 racing car. The sounds just, they just don't go with the model. They've done quite a nice job of producing this, but at least a couple of the reviewers that I've seen have just stuck the tab back in and said, "Oh, taking the batteries out, forget that." So it's your own choice, just be aware of it. So on it, let's open the bonnet. There we are. Got a nice depiction of the engine. As with most modern engines, it's just covered in covers and things, so they're so crammed in, there's not a lot to see in there, but they've actually made an attempt at representing it. The doors, nice interior, just plain black on this model. I think the Xinglong does have coloured seats, which do make it look a bit tidier actually. It does look a little bit better. All four doors open, which is quite nice to see, and everything's moulded nicely inside. Depiction of the roof rack on the top with the panoramic sunroof underneath. Coming round the other side, the doors also open nicely, and I trust you can see inside. To me on the camera it's looking a bit dark, but hopefully on your computer monitors or whatever you're viewing you'll be able to see in there. Your little toolbox features a shovel, so that if you get stuck, you've always got something to help you extract yourself. On the back, spare wheels mounted on the rear. All the lights are depicted quite nicely. I have seen some of these where the battery unit also features lighting, where the rear lights light up and the front. I'm not quite sure what the case is with this one, but we'll probably have a look at instating the batteries just to see what the case is. Right, be careful because this back door is quite tight and it comes with a big click as you undo it. But in the rear, just depicted as a load base. This seems to be raised for some reason, so whether the loudspeakers in there for the sound, I'm not quite sure. It does appear to have something in there. I can't get it out, it doesn't seem to want to move, so not quite sure what that is. But so there we have it, Defender 110 in 1/24 scale. Right, off camera I've taken it apart, and there is a battery compartment, but there's no batteries supplied with it. They're like button cells. I haven't got any to hand, but I've no intention of having this as a plaything. It's purely a display model. So just bear that in mind. The other thing to mention is these are available on eBay. It came in at about £25. Obviously you've got to pay postage on top of that. But it's about the same price as all the other ones that are listed on there in 1/24. They're all around the 23 up to about £29, something like that. When it came, it's just in like a protective bubble that the model is obviously shipped in, but there's no box, and it was just wrapped in a poly bag. Now it's fairly well protected in there, but just bear that in mind. It has come from China, so it's travelled a long way. The packaging does seem to be adequate to protect the model, but whether it would withstand being some really rough handling, which you can get during its time in transit, is another matter. But really nice model. It's going to go into the collection, and I'm quite happy. It'd be nice to get a white Defender 90 in 1/24, so we could stick that in the cabinet. As I mentioned a long while ago on one of the videos, I first started out collecting 1/24 scale models, and I got up to about 400 of them, and space became a major problem. Couldn't keep the packaging, just had nowhere to store it, and I was up to about 6 display cabinets with them. And if you're in America or somewhere like that, your houses tend to be a lot bigger than our little cottage style things in the UK, so size just became prohibitive. So I just have a selective amount of 1/24s now. They're nearly all Land Rovers of one sort or another, and can't even think about collecting the 1/18 scale because I'd have to move out the house. There's no two ways about it. But there we are. Hope you've enjoyed this one. If you're considering buying one of these, I thought this one looked smart with the 110 on the bonnet and the black livery and everything. And if you can live with the mispronounced or misspelt wording on the vehicle due to the licensing issues, then fine. It'd be nice if somebody at some point came up with a set of decals for these that you could bring them up to what it should say on the front and the rear, etc. That would be nice, but I think quite a few people are not going to be too bothered about it, to be perfectly honest. So there we have it. Land Rover new Defender 110, and we'll find you something in the next video to have a look at, I'm quite sure. I'm still getting models arriving that were ordered over Christmas. There's been some delays, so we've got a few more to go at to show you, but we'll have to save them for the next video. Hope you've all enjoyed this one, and if you liked the video, please give us a like and consider subscribing if you haven't already done so, and we'll see you again in the next one. Until then, happy collecting.